Timothy Theodore Duncan, born April 25, 1976, is an American former professional basketball player. He spent his entire 19-year career with the San Antonio Spurs in the National Basketball Association, NBA. Nicknamed the Big Fundamental, he is widely regarded as the greatest power forward of all time and one of the greatest players in NBA history, and was a central contributor to the franchise's success during the 2000s and 2010s. He was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 2020 and named to the NBA's 75th anniversary team in 2021. Born and raised on St. Croix in the U.S. Virgin Islands, Duncan initially aspired to be a competitive swimmer, but took up basketball at 14 after Hurricane Hugo destroyed the island's only Olympic-sized pool. In high school, he played basketball for St. Dunstan's Episcopal. In college, Duncan played for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, and in his senior year, he received the John Wooden Award and was named the Naismith College Player of the Year and the USBWA College Player of the Year. After graduating from college, Duncan was the NBA Rookie of the Year after being selected by San Antonio with the first overall pick in the 1997 NBA Draft. He primarily played the power forward position and also played center throughout his career. He is a 5-time NBA champion, a 2-time NBA MVP, a 3-time NBA Finals MVP, a 15-time NBA All-Star, and the only player to be selected to both the All-NBA and All-Defensive teams for 13 consecutive seasons. Off the court, Duncan created the Tim Duncan Foundation to raise health awareness and fund education and youth sports programs. He has a net worth of $130 million. Early life. Duncan was born and raised in St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands. He is the son of immigrants from Anguilla, Ione, a professional midwife, and William Duncan, a mason. He has 2 older sisters, Cheryl and Tricia, and an older brother, Scott, who became a film director and cinematographer. Cheryl was a champion swimmer before she became a nurse, and Tricia swam for the U.S. Virgin Islands at the 1988 Summer Olympics in Seoul. In school, Duncan was a bright pupil and dreamt of becoming an Olympic-level swimmer like Tricia. His parents were very supportive, and Duncan excelled at swimming, becoming a teenage standout in the 50-, 100-, and 400-meter freestyle and aiming to go to the 1992 Olympic Games as a member of the United States team. In 1989, after Hurricane Hugo destroyed the island's only Olympic-sized swimming pool, Duncan was forced to swim in the ocean instead, and his fear of sharks ruined his enthusiasm for the sport. He was dealt another emotional blow when his mother died of breast cancer on April 24, 1990, the day before his 14th birthday. On her deathbed, she made Duncan and his sisters promise that they would graduate from college, going a long way in explaining Duncan's later refusal to leave college early for the NBA. Duncan never swam competitively again, but his brother-in-law inspired him to turn to basketball. Initially, Duncan had difficulties adapting to the game he thought would help relieve his pain and frustration. St. Croix Country Day School Athletic Director Nancy Pomeroy has said, "Duncan was so huge, so big and tall, but he was awfully awkward at the time. He overcame his awkwardness to become a standout for the St. Dunstan's Episcopal High School, averaging 25 points per game as a senior. His play attracted the attention of several universities. Wake Forest University basketball coach Dave Odom, in particular, grew interested in Duncan after the 16-year-old allegedly played NBA star Alonzo Mourning to a draw in a 5-on-5 pickup game. Odom was searching for a tall, physical player to play near the basket. Given the weak level of basketball in the Virgin Islands, Odom was wary about Duncan at first, especially after first meeting him and thinking him inattentive. Duncan stared blankly at Odom for most of the conversation. But after the first talk, Odom understood that this was just Duncan's demeanor and discovered that he was not only a talented athlete but also a quick learner. Eventually, despite scholarship offers by the University of Hartford, the University of Delaware, and Providence College, Duncan joined Odom's Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Personal life. Duncan married Amy Sherrill in July 2001 and had 2 children before their divorce in August 2013. In 2017, Duncan and his girlfriend welcomed their first child. In 2001, Duncan established the Tim Duncan Foundation to fund programs involving health awareness and research, education, and youth sports and recreation in San Antonio, Winston-Salem, and the United States Virgin Islands. The foundation's major events have included the Tim Duncan Bowling for $dollar Charity Bowl-a-thon and the Slam Duncan Charity Golf Classic. Between 2001 and 2002, the foundation raised more than $350,000 for breast and prostate cancer research. In those 2 years, Duncan was named by Sporting News as one of the good guys in sports. Duncan has also supported the Children's Bereavement Center, the Children's Center of San Antonio, and the Cancer Therapy and Research Center. In August 2017, Blackjack Speed Shop, in partnership with the Tim Duncan Foundation, organized urgently needed supplies for victims of Hurricane Harvey. Duncan cites his late mother as his main inspiration. Among other things, she taught him and his sisters the nursery rhyme, good, better, best. Never let it rest / until your good is better, and your better is your best, which he adopted as his personal motto. On and off the court, he believes that the 3 most important values are dedication, teamwork, and camaraderie. He chose number 21 for his jersey because that was his brother-in-law's college number, since he was Duncan's main basketball inspiration. Duncan also cites Hall of Fame Los Angeles Lakers point guard Magic Johnson as his childhood idol. Duncan was honored with the Virgin Islands Medal of Honor, the highest award bestowed by the Virgin Islands territorial government, and has been celebrated in several Tim Duncan Day ceremonies. In 2000, legislature of the Virgin Islands President Vargrave Richards said, "He is a quiet giant. His laid-back attitude is the embodiment of the people of St. Croix, doing things without fanfare and hoopla." Duncan enjoys Renaissance fairs and the fantasy role-playing game Dungeons & Dragons. In 2015, Duncan sued his former investment advisor, claiming over $20 million in losses. In September 2016, a federal grand jury indicted the advisor on 2 counts of wire fraud related to the case. In April 2017, the advisor pled guilty to wire fraud in the case. In June 2018, he reached a settlement and received $7.5 million. In March 2020, Duncan offered to pay for airline tickets for college students in the U.S. Virgin Islands to travel home during the COVID-19 pandemic. Coaching career. San Antonio Spurs, 2019 to 2020. On July 22, 2019, the San Antonio Spurs announced that Duncan was named an assistant coach. He made his debut as acting head coach on March 3, 2020, leading the Spurs to a 104-103 comeback win over the Charlotte Hornets, which Popovich missed due to personal reasons. On November 12, 2020, Duncan stepped down as assistant coach of the Spurs. National team career. In 2003, Duncan was also a member of the USA team that recorded 10 wins and qualified for the 2004 Summer Olympics. At the Olympics itself, the team lost 3 games on its way to a bronze medal. The record represented more losses in a single year than in the 68 previous years combined. It was also the first time since NBA players became eligible that the U.S. men's basketball team lost a game in international competition and returned home without gold medals. After the tournament, Duncan was disappointed with team's unpreparedness for the tournament and commented, "I am about 95% sure my FIBA career is over. I'll try not to share my experiences with anyone." In total, Duncan was a member of 5 USA basketball teams and played in 40 games.